Hey, let's move straight to our next conversation. Now, you do not set your own pace in a race with rules. That seems to be the message from the Senate to suspended Kogi Central Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan following reports that she plans to return to the Red Chamber on Tuesday. In a response, the Senate warned her against forcefully resuming legislative duties before her suspension officially expires. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Senator Yemi Adaramodu, stated that there is no valid court order backing her immediate recall, emphasizing that the Senate remains committed to due process and the rule of law. All right, gentlemen, the Senate has warned Senator Natasha to stay away, but she's insisting on resuming. But let me start with you, BK. If Natasha defies that warning, what should we expect?
She will not gain access. You can't defy. The gate leading to the National Assembly is very far from the Assembly complex. So if they don't want you to get into the Assembly, they can stop you. Right there at the gate. So what is the point? This is just a pure effort at cheap controversy. Natasha knows in her heart, except if she's not a trained lawyer, that there's no order for her recall. See, this is a certified true copy of the judgment. I got it the same day it came out. Nobody can tell me anything about this judgment. We respond based on facts, not based on emotions. We have outgrown emotions. See, this is the CTC. Paragraph 12 says, let me start from paragraph 11 and then I'll read 12. Okay. That I am of the opinion that the Senate has the power to review the provisions of the Senate rules and can even amend section 14, subsection 2 of the Legislative House's Powers and Privileges Act, both for being excessive and overreaching. She then said, finally, that the Senate, 12, that the Senate has the power to, and I believe should recall the plaintiff and allow her to resume representing the people who sent her there to represent them. This is purely an opinion.
You see that as advisory opinion?
What? Anybody who says this is not an opinion did not go to school.
Meaning
look at this. Binding. That the Senate has the power to, and I believe should recall. I believe should. I believe. That's our opinion. What you hold on to, your belief is your opinion. If she wanted to give an order, she would say, I hereby order her immediate recall. That is the language of an order. We are not illiterates. How many sons have you seen coming out to say, oh, there was an order? Any son that comes out to say there was an order for recall, that son, they need to derobe him because it's not worthy of being called a son. Even any lawyer at all who went to school, who will call this an order. I don't know how that lawyer went through school. In the judgment, in the main judgment, I've also seen the main judgment. The judgment is 2 voluminous. Okay. The judge said the Senate should consider. Should consider. So if somebody tells you should consider, what does that mean?
It's advisory.
It's urging you. It's urging you. Please consider forgiving Oreshegun. Consider forgiving. So that person has left it in your hands. You can either...
So the onus rests on the Senate
to either... She even said it. She said it that, look, if the court... She recognizes that the court... that there is independence of the 3 arms of government. And she then said that if we are to be deciding on every matter that emanates from the plenary, this court will have nothing else to do. Because based on the Legislative House's Powers and Privileges Act, whatever transpires on the floor of the Senate you cannot go to court on account of that. Otherwise, a lot of, maybe they abuse one another, there somebody will file a suit. So the woman recognized the fact that the Senate has the power, and it's here. That I'm of the opinion that the Senate has the power to review the provisions. She's urging them to look at the provisions in that act, amend if possible, so that cases of punishment, disproportionate punishment for offenses committed would then be dealt with.
Okay.
She's even advising them that they should, that they could amend, because they have the power to amend their rules. What she wants is, look, don't kill an ant with a sledgehammer.
Okay.
Punishment has to be proportionate to the offense committed. That's the point that she's making. But even now, the Senate has appealed. This is the document. The Senate has appealed that the woman, that the appeal court should rule that she does not even have jurisdiction in the first place. The Senate has cross-appealed. People ask me, okay, if there was no order, why did they appeal? What an illiterate question. The way to know why they appeal is to get their the document that they filed with the court. You don't decide on your own that they appealed because there was an order.
Okay.
You understand?
I do.
You get it. And looking at this is their this is their, how many pages is it, sir? This is their appeal. Don't you see? About 20 pages. There is nowhere in this appeal that the Senate said that that there's an order of a court that it should be rescinded. No. They are saying that, look, the court, that Natasha, at the time she filed the matter, her case had not even been decided, that the judge shouldn't even have talked about
on the
this
case,
one, because it was not part of the reliefs that she was seeking. And the reliefs that she sought, all of those reliefs were decided against her.
Against her.
Including whether she could talk from where she was sitting. The court ruled that based on Senate rules, you can only talk from a seat assigned to you. All of this effort meant to hoodwink Nigerians, mislead people who know next to nothing about the law, it should stop. If you want to appeal, file your appeal. Leave the matter, let the courts decide. Stop misleading Nigerians. Because all of this is just, okay, I will continue to be in the news. I will continue to be in the news, you know. Let us see what will happen. And she's not prepared to apologize. She's not prepared. Because she thinks it will damage her political career. This is what is going on. But she wants Nigerians to continue to think, oh, she has been treated badly. There is no order of the court. My friend Ruben Abati said she wants to implement a non-existent order. That's just the thing.
There's no order.
There's no order. This is it. Okay, if it was, why didn't the court say, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, consider paying the 5 million naira fine?
That was an order. You must pay that one.
That's not, you see, when you say consider, you are begging the person now. But when it's an order, the language is definitive.
Shall.
Nobody should put wool over our eyes. Why did we go to school? Anyone, I insist, anybody who calls this an order, where he's saying that the Senate has the power to, and I believe should recall. Anyone who calls that one an order, where someone says, I believe they should recall, that person didn't go to school. The parents just wasted money sending him to school.
All right, Majid, your thoughts on this matter?
Well, basically, there are two sides to a court ruling.
Okay.
The paragraphs 11 and 12, which they cited, they are opinions of the judge. The ruling itself, there's an opinion about a ruling, and there is a reason for the ruling. And that's why she was fined for contempt. That's the reason for the judgment. So, I mean, look at the Supreme Court judgment that validated Tinubu's election.
Okay.
It said, how can the solicitors or the legal team of Atiku and Obi throw evidence at
the court,
the court for them to go and be sieving it as if they're in the marketplace. That's the opinion. That's not the judgment.
Let me quickly, Majid, let me read paragraph 2. That having found that the plaintiff acted in breach of this court's subsisting order, the plaintiff must take responsibility for action and remedy same. Thus, an order is hereby made for the plaintiff to pay a fine and the sum of 5 million to the federal government treasury, and to publish a public apology to the court in 2 national dailies and on our Facebook page within 7 days of today, and to purge herself of the contempt. Look at the language.
Look at the language.
Compared to this one,
I consider,
where I say I believe that the Senate should recall.
And she's a lawyer. She understands this, but she's just playing to the gallery.
Yes. If they want to sack me in TVC now, maybe I do something very unethical, and they say, Jide, are they going to tell me, Jide, consider not coming to office from today? You are fired. It's as simple as that. The language is definitive. It's very clear. As if we didn't go to school. Somebody go where them born after us. Go come the pull wool over our eyes.
Then why are people misinterpreting
No,
this?
you see, the thing is, the moment you see, I've said this thing before, the moment you see somebody who gets a judgment and tells you, meanwhile, his counsel or our counsel were in court, they had the judgment. They tell you they are waiting for CTC. Know that person has lost the case. When anybody who tells you we are waiting for the CTC, they have lost the case.
Maybe you are there in open court.
Were you not there in open court? It was read in plain English.
The only thing you can use CTC for, maybe you want to file.
When you want to file your appeal.
Okay.
Yes, but not for...
I told them that what transpired in open court is never going to be different to what is in the CTC. So somebody now cited what happened in Kano. That one was a clerical error.
Clerical.
And when they were saying it at that time, one big lawyer in our country who enjoys misleading people on TV now said, if that CTC, where the error was that one was the judgment, I said, okay.
Don't appeal.
Don't appeal. Let us see. Olanipe Kunsan, a man who knows what he's doing. He didn't even wait for them to make that correction. He
appealed immediately.
Because if you don't appeal, you are gone as a governor now. Go and tell us that, okay, because an error is in CTC, so the CTC is correct. Whereas the judge who read the judgment, we all know that his judgment was different to what the CTC reflected. So why did Olanipe appeal?
Something that was televised live. Everybody had it. So, I mean, there is they now decide to take an opinion
and turn it to
a ruling. Whereas they know the truth, but because they want to play to the gallery, because she, of course, like Jide said, she didn't want to pay that fine. And except she appeals that their judgment, and which I believe she must have done because it was clear, 7 days.
It was in the cross appeal. The cross appeal was in response to her own appeal.
Okay, just in 30 seconds, she said she's going to go. If she eventually goes, what do you expect? Just in 30 seconds.
She will be shot out now. She will make noise. She will go there with television and probably she will follow her there.
She will take some women with her to go and make some noise.
It will amount to
nothing.
Nothing.
That will be impotent.
It's just an academic. It will be an academic
impotent exercise. No.
All right, gentlemen, we need to